That down, let's jump into our first issue here, shall we? And that is this. For any of you guys who know me, you know I'm a Dungeons and Dragons guy.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing Dungeons and Dragons back when it was like 40 pages, little paperback covers and stuff like that. Back when I was in grade school, I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. And as an adult, played Dungeons and Dragons. And of course, they put out a live action Dungeons and Dragons not long ago with Chris Pine. Honor Among Thieves, I think it was called.
Yep.
That movie was wonderful.
Yep.
That was a really good little movie, and ain't nobody went to go see it.
Yeah, because everyone thought they had to know Dungeons and
Yeah,
Dragons.
everybody thought, oh, well, I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, so I guess I won't get the movie. So they should have done a better job marketing that, because the movie actually ended up being really delightful. It was a really fun little movie, but it didn't look like it might get a sequel. But now, it's not a sequel, but Netflix has taken up the call, because according to Deadline, Netflix is now developing a live-action Dungeons and Dragons series with Deadpool and Wolverine director and Stranger Things director and producer Shawn Levy being involved. This comes to us from Deadline, who wrote the following. Exclusive. In one of Netflix's biggest TV bets in the fantasy space to date, the streamer has taken in for development The Forgotten Realms, a live-action Dungeons and Dragons series, sources tell Deadline. The project comes from one of the top producers on the streamer's roster, Shawn Levy from Stranger Things, Deadpool and Wolverine, and with writer-showrunner Drew Crivello from We Crashed and Hasbro Entertainment. As the title suggests, the proposed series will take place in the iconic campaign setting and centerpiece of the Dungeons & Dragons universe, a fantasy world released in 1987 that has become home to some of the brand's most famous characters and launch pad for some of D&D's most popular adventures. The source material for the 2023 movie Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, which I really enjoyed, comes from within the Realms setting. All right. I gotta say, I am absolutely giddy to hear this. Because, you know, after Honor Among Thieves kind of crashed and burned at the box office, that movie deserves so much better. I was kind of worried that maybe studios will look at that and go, I guess people really aren't into the whole D&D fantasy sort of thing. And I thought that's not true. And you know what else kind of pointed towards that? Vax Machina.
Right.
Yeah.
On Amazon has done really well for them. As a matter of fact, another piece of news that we're not covering today is Vax Machina just got picked up for season 4.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to be, which
ahead.
I'm super happy about. I really enjoy that show. And so, you know, with Baldur's Gate 3 having just won a little bit ago, the game of the year, I still think the greatest video game ever made. I'm still absolutely floored by that game.
I still can't even get it on like a deal. Like, it's so popular, they're not even cutting the price.
Yeah, it's not on sale.
No.
Nope. You know what? Part of the brilliance of Baldur's Gate 3? You buy the game and that's it.
Oh, I kind of like to be milked of money, though.
Oh, yeah. Everybody likes being milked.
It makes you feel loved.
Yeah. Like, none of this freaking seasons pass. None of this pay to win. None of this buy these skins. None of these pay for DLC. It's that you buy the game, you got the game.
I'm just imagining what Shawn Levy will do with this Dungeons and Dragons series. As far as the Dragon's concerned, and looking at what he did with Stranger Things, he could really make this a really interesting show. I think a lot of people know what Dungeons and Dragons is, and I think they're just waiting for something to hit big. And this might be it. This might be the thing that actually gets people's eyes on the property, because all of us in here know what Dungeons and Dragons is. It's beloved by the people who play it.
Yeah, but there's a difference between knowing what something is.
Right.
Like, just no, let me rephrase that. There's a difference between knowing of something and knowing what it is.
Right.
And I think you're right in that the vast majority of people out there know of Dungeons and Dragons, but they don't know what it is.
But there's a belief with the studios, or like, because they keep trying, right? So it's like
not often though.
Yeah, but hopefully this one, I'm just saying, hopefully this one will strike the fire that they've been wanting from
listen, Netflix is infamously awful at their movies. Like, Netflix is total garbage at making movies. Like, maybe 1 out of every 20 is okay. But their track record with their series,
that's what I'm saying.
It's not perfect, but their track record with their series are actually not quite as good as, HBO, but quite good. And you're right, with Shawn Levy on board, it shows that they actually have a belief in this genre. Hopefully the popularity, the after theater popularity of Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves can pick up here a little bit. And hopefully this can turn into something, because I love this world. It's just a big, open, empty canvas that a good creator can come in and tell any kind of story they want if they do it well.
Now, do you think this needs a big budget? Because that would be, for me, that's kind of important, because dragons, come on, we got to have some cool looking dragons, but who knows?
Well, I mean, I don't know how many dragons we'll see in it, but I mean, that again, it depends on the kind of story they want to tell. If you just want to tell a great story about like
the group,
an old warrior who's now trying to just save his community, you could probably do that for a pretty reasonable budget and make it good and make it compelling and make it fun. If you want to do a story though of a grand epic adventure of a big party of adventurers going off to fight an army of orcs in a land of dragons and beholders, well, then you're going to need a bigger budget. Then you're going to need something a little bit bigger. So it's really all going to depend on what their approach is going to be. But I mean, look, I look at what Shawn Levy has done. And again, you talk about the popularity of Dungeons and Dragons. One of the reasons for the big, I think, boost in awareness of Dungeons and Dragons is Stranger Things.
Yep.
I mean, like, because Stranger Things is essentially is like, what's the word I'm looking for? An anthropomorphic Dungeons and Dragons story. That's kind of what Stranger Things is.
That's what the Demogorgon is. I mean, that's when they're naming these things, it's because they're Dungeons and Dragon nerds, so.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, NordVPN. All right, let's be real. There's nothing worse than wanting to stream your favorite show or watch a live game only to find out it's blocked in your country. But guess what? With NordVPN, that is never a problem. With just one click, you can switch your virtual location and access content from anywhere in the world. I have loved using NordVPN. Whether I'm traveling and using public Wi-Fi or just shopping online, NordVPN keeps my personal info safe and private. By switching my location, I can even save money on flights, hotels, and subscriptions. It's like a cheat code for getting the best deals. NordVPN is the fastest VPN in the world, so there's no buffering when I'm streaming. Plus, their threat protection feature blocks malware, trackers, and phishing attempts, keeping my devices safe 24/7. And with just one account, I can protect up to 10 devices, so my whole setup is covered. So to get the best discount on your NordVPN plan, head to nordvpn.com/John Campea, and our link will even give you 4 extra months for free on the 2-year plan. Plus, there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Links in the description. Check it out now. Anyway, guys, I think this could be, I mean, every time a new Dungeons and Dragons thing comes out, I remember I thought this back when the Jeremy Irons Abomination came out. I thought, okay, this could be the thing that really makes like a D&D thing super big. Didn't happen. Then we had Honor Among Thieves coming out. I thought, okay, this could be the thing that really makes it, blah, 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 and it didn't quite happen. So hopefully this will be the thing.
There's one important name behind the article that we got this from. Hasbro is behind this. Their track record is okay, right?
They're gonna have nothing to do with this creatively though.
Okay.
From a creative point, I mean, it's their property because Hasbro owns Wizards of the Coast, and Dungeons and Dragons is a property of Wizards of the Coast. So yeah, Hasbro's behind it, the business deal, but they won't be involved in it creatively at all. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you like the idea of them not just doing a Dungeons and Dragons series, but it looks like they're going hardcore, bringing in one of their top producers to do it as well? What direction do you think they'll go in? Do you think this can become popular? I certainly hope it does. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.